Where the are you right now? I'm talking to the Joint Chiefs, I'm talking to Pentagon brass, I'm talking to every flag officer who ever swore an oath to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. A group of reckless, arrogant, power-drunk fascist wannabes just texted war plans like they were coordinating brunch. And not a damn thing's being done about it. Let me say it louder for the suits that are hiding behind protocol. War plans! Sensitive, classified strategy information that could risk the lives of our troops, our intelligence operatives, our allies, transmitted over unsecured communication with a f***ing journalist in the chat. And Pete Hegseth, our Secretary of Defense, was one of them. That bourbon-drinking bullshit artist should be dragged out by his f***ing hair with his face pressed against the pavement and made to answer for this absolute f***ing betrayal that he took part in.
Donald Trump is now saying that the concern surrounding his administration putting classified information in a group chat with a journalist is a witch hunt. He's using the same old tactic he always does. In the Oval Office today, when he was asked about the controversy, he defended Pete Hegseth and then said, quote, "I think it's a witch hunt." Also tried to blame the Signal app itself, saying that it was at fault and that he believed it could be, quote, defective, even though Mike Waltz, his national security advisor, had taken responsibility for a journalist being added to the group chat. And then he backtracked on one of the administration's central claims, which is that no classified information was shared in the group chat. He was asked if he still believes that no classified info was shared, and he said, quote, "That's what I've heard. I don't know. I'm not sure. You have to ask the various people involved."
They released the texts. The Atlantic, Jeffrey Goldberg, released the text in which we saw yesterday the Trump administration say it wasn't classified, and here they are. These messages, which we'll go over some in a moment, showcase that, yeah, there was some things in here that was very time sensitive that probably shouldn't have included some other people that shouldn't have been there. And so Goldberg, writing in The Atlantic this morning, the statements by Hegseth, Gabbard, Radcliffe, and Trump, combined with the assertions made by numerous administration officials that were lying about the content of the Signal texts, have led us to believe that people should see the texts in order to reach their own conclusions. Adding, if this information, particularly the exact times American aircraft are taking off for Yemen, had fallen into the wrong hands in that critical 2-hour period in which he got these messages, American pilots and other American personnel could have been exposed to even greater danger than they ordinarily would face. And to be honest with you, this is what he's talking about. This right here, which is by Pete Hegseth, where this gives times exactly when things are being launched. Time now, 11:44, weather is favorable, just confirmed with SETCOM, we're a go for the mission launch. 12:15, F-16 launch, first strike package. Then it goes on more and more and more.
Let's just say it. Our national security feels like it's being handled by a group chat full of high schoolers on a caffeine binge. Honestly, if there's one thing this current administration has taught us, it's that you can't make this stuff up. We're watching things unfold in real time that would have sounded too far-fetched for a Netflix political thriller. Classified war plans being casually tossed around in a group chat with a journalist. That's not just reckless, it's national security suicide. And the kicker? The man who once sat behind the resolute desk, Mr. Commander-in-Chief himself, doesn't even seem that concerned. If he's rattled, he's hiding it behind that famously orange poker face. This is the same guy who called generals my generals, but now seems unfazed as his inner circle drops sensitive info like it's hot tea in a Facebook mom group.
The fact that people like Mike Waltz and Pete Hegseth still have jobs shows you that this administration couldn't care less about national security. These people needed to have resigned days ago, and if they're not going to do that, they should be fired right now. This is a complete breach of the trust of the American people. Genuinely embarrassing that this is the clown show leading our country right now.
I'm so good at national security. Fist bump, American flag, fire emoji. I fully share your loathing of European freeloading. All caps, it's pathetic. Dripping. Who the fuck is Jeffrey Goldberg? It doesn't sound very Christian. Bomb, ba bomb, bomb, bomb. Can someone remind me what time we're dropping the bombs? Shit, is this Facebook? Whoops. Face bomb emoji. Don't worry, Facebook. We're just bombing the Houthis. Houthis. Where did I put that lotion? Splash emoji.
Now, imagine, just imagine, if this circus had rolled out during the Biden administration. The MAGA crowd would have been on Fox News 24/7, foaming at the mouth, waving flags and yelling treason from the rooftops. There'd be calls for impeachment before the morning coffee finished brewing. But now, crickets. Or worse, people twisting themselves into ideological pretzels trying to justify it. It's giving Make America regret again, not great again. And let's talk about the arrogance in that group chat. These aren't just your average political trolls, they're people with real influence, acting like they're auditioning for a reality TV show called Who Wants to Jeopardize America Today? The smugness, the ego, the utter detachment from what's actually at stake, it makes you question whether they're playing for Team America or just playing with fire for fun. It's not even about left or right at this point, it's about basic accountability. We're not just at a crossroads. We're at a 5-lane intersection with no traffic lights, and the people driving seem more interested in scoring Twitter clout than steering the country safely forward. At some point, we've got to stop treating this like political theater and start recognizing the real damage being done. Honestly, it's past time we asked, are these folks leading us toward a stronger future, or just dragging us into a regrettable history lesson with front row seats?
We are now actively bombing foreign countries on behalf of Israel and lying to the American people. And the administration is even creating the most ridiculous hoax I have ever seen. A group chat that was somehow miraculously leaked by adding a member of The Atlantic, not just any member, the chief editor, and not just any leftist publication, but the one responsible for the Russia hoax, so that we'll all be arguing over this partisan bullshit. And the narrative gets to continue to play that we're somehow doing this over shipping interests. Because if you look at the leaked information, which is just a direct insight into exactly how our government is talking to each other, because they would message each other like this. This is the part they wanted you to read. This is the part they wanted you to believe. Oh yeah, this is why we're doing it. This is not why we're doing it. But this is why this whole stunt of leaked text messages was created, was to get you to think that that was what was going on. And that the issue here that we should all be arguing about is national security. We have Tulsi Gabbard saying there's nothing classified about this information. Yeah, of course not. You made this information. You published this information. This is propaganda. The entire administration is such a letdown, and it's so obvious now who's just on here to grift. Who's an influencer. Who's not willing to just point out and be like, yo, we're being lied to. And the Trump administration is not doing what it said it would do. Where are the mass deportations? That just stopped. We're busy giving Israel our money and fighting wars for Israel and risking American lives. We're getting ready to go to war with Iran on behalf of Israel and risk a nuclear annihilation. And everything we voted for is out the window. It doesn't matter anymore.
The group chat was called Houthi PC Small Group. But what sounds like a casual Zoom breakout session turned out to be one of the most eyebrow-raising national security slip-ups in recent memory. Inside this Signal chat, some of the most powerful names in the Trump administration: Vice President J.D. Vance, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, DNI Tulsi Gabbard, and National Security Advisor Mike Waltz. The topic? Coordinated strikes against Houthi targets in Yemen. So, where does the journalist come in? Jeffrey Goldberg, editor-in-chief of The Atlantic, was accidentally added to this chat. Yes, accidentally. A journalist with no security clearance was given a front-row seat to real-time discussions of classified military operations. Think weapon systems, timing of strikes, and sensitive logistics, discussed as casually as a brunch plan. Now, this isn't just a technical oops. Goldberg did what journalists do. He published a report with a partially redacted transcript of the chat, and the fallout as explosive as some of the airstrikes being discussed. President Trump downplayed it, calling the leak a minor glitch and labeling Goldberg a sleazebag. Defense Secretary Hegseth brushed it off as non-classified team updates, but national security experts aren't buying the spin. Former State Department Attorney Brian Finucane flatly stated that the contents should have been classified. senators from both sides of the aisle are now calling for investigations into the use of unsecured messaging apps for sensitive communications. So here's the bigger question. In a digital era where secure communication is critical, are we prepared for the consequences